I have the pleasure to welcome a distinguished group of 5 distinguished speakers, panelists, Czechs and Taiwanese to share their experience of doing business in the Czech Republic and Taiwan. And this is going to be an exciting 1.5 hours, roughly. Just don't time it. If it gets really exciting, we will keep on discussing relations of our 2 countries. I'm so happy that these 5 panelists, which is Mia Litwin-Su, Elton Lin, Vojtech Havrda, Jiri Vaclavik, and Eric Lynn, who have agreed to share their lessons from not just doing business, but emerging in the culture, in trying to set up businesses, to understand different mentality, understand the legal regulations, and they will share their lessons from that endeavor. So very warm welcome to all of you. It's so great that you still like pixels and you don't mind staring at the screen. It's a big thank you to all. Hi.
Hello. Nice to connect with you guys.
Well, I'm so happy to be able to facilitate. Sometimes I make it more difficult. So if I try to facilitate this discussion, because I have been to Taiwan before and I utterly enjoyed it. And I said, well, is there a way I could make it the next time to explore maybe some of the mountains apart from Taipei and Kenting, where I spent a wonderful week. The country just makes you hungrier for more from a Czech perspective. So I really hope to get back soon. And I'm happy we have Mia Litwin-Su from Asiana, biggest travel business selling air tickets to all around the world, but Asia. They were the first one in '93 to launch their business in the Czech Republic. So I might start with Mia. Hello, Mia. How are you? And my question is,
okay.
Is there anything? Are there any differences between Czech and Taiwanese travelers?
The differences between the Czech and Taiwanese travelers. So Taiwanese, when they come to Europe, they intend to have more intensive experiences within the shorter time. For example, they would do 3 countries in 7 days. They would go to Prague 2 days and spend half day in Český Krumlov and 1 day in Bratislava and Vienna. Usually the travel is very combined. And meanwhile, Czech travelers intend to stay in one place for longer time. For example, when they go to Taiwan, they would choose to stay in the mountain tribe with sharing the experience with Aboriginals, or stay in the seaside, enjoy the fishing ports and the special Taiwanese cuisines, or they can also be interested in the alpine trekkings above. The mountains are above 3,000 meters above the sea. So I would say it's quite different, and usually the length of staying for Czech tourists are likely to be 2 or 3 weeks. So that's the major difference. Otherwise, I think both Taiwanese and Czech travelers would enjoy a lot of nature, exploring the cities, generally speaking.
Well, you also established the Czech Taiwanese Association, which was the first association for Taiwanese community in the Czech Republic a long time ago. So to me, until recently, Taiwan was not on travelers list for some reason, and I was only surprised to discover a wonderful country which is manageable in terms. It's not you don't get lost for months, but you can travel around in a reasonable amount of time, as you said, maybe 2 weeks, 1 week. But still, why do you think that Czechs, or is it just me that didn't know much about Taiwan, or is this growing knowledge of Czech tourists about the destination, about Taiwan? Do you think that they know it well, and it's or is there something that could be done to make this knowledge wider?
Certainly, indeed, as you said, Taiwan is not the first holiday destination for Czechs. The one of a very important reason is that we don't have a direct flight. So we would like to make it happen in the future with all the parties who is interested in it. So, but then again, I think Czechs travelers will definitely be enjoy in Taiwan, and it would be a very astonishing experience. Wow, imagine that if you can be in the Alpine area, from the Alpine mountains of the. We have 100 peaks above 3,000 meters, and it's been really popular even for Taiwanese. There's so much to discover, and within a couple of hours from mountain, you can reach to the beautiful seaside, beach or coast, and enjoying the very fine cuisine, very local in the fishing ports. So definitely will be very attractive for Czech tourists to discover more.
Well, I definitely encourage everyone who has not traveled to Taiwan to do so. I've been personally surprised by the quality of transport, by people, how we had first-class treatment, wherever everyone was happy to talk, to see us, and it was an utterly pleasant experience. So I wonder what over the last year tourism was hit very hard because of COVID crisis. So what are your how did you manage? What was did it have any outcome in terms of shifting your business, changing something, or what is the lesson for you from the last 12 months or so of COVID?
We were hit the hardest, and fortunately, as a company who has a very solid foundation, we are financially stable. We had no debts, no leasings, no credits. That was the first point. And secondly, we act very quickly to reduce. When the pandemic happened, we act fast to reduce our expenses, eliminate all the unnecessary expenditures without laying off anyone. And lastly, and most importantly, is this pandemic happened last year around March, and we had to move all our employees they have to work from home. We were technologically ready. So both 3 points, this what we can share the best practice on our side.
Well, so act quickly and don't lay off anyone. That's a tough challenge. I'm happy to hear that you managed to do that. Maybe opposed to some other competitors in your industry. Now, maybe last question for this introductory session. What is your challenge in the year ahead, the biggest one in terms of travel between Czechia and Taiwan and your company? What is your biggest challenge? What do you perceive to be now where you want to focus and shift your energy?
For us, at the moment, the market is very limited due to the travel restrictions. So the first of all, there will be some kind of system or mechanism to have this unified, globally recognized COVID certificate, either vaccinated or tested. There will be a form, and we are looking forward to it. And secondly, between Czech and Taiwan, between Taipei and Prague, we would like to, we will be expecting and looking forward to have a direct flight. It's not only our interest, it's also the community of Czech and Taiwanese, and it would enable so much possibilities, not only for personal interest or also industrial. So that's our challenge ahead and what we have to look further.
Relating to that direct flight, is there something we could do? How we can help? Is there some pressure we could help to exert so that this flight is a reality as soon as possible?
Definitely, I think we have to, in Prague, in Czech Republic, we have to consolidate all the interest and all the power and panels such as this one, such as thanks to Czech Taiwanese Business Association to give us this opportunity to be able to bring everyone together, and we will be together, we'll be stronger, and we can make it happen, I believe.
Okay, so if is Czech Taiwanese Association maybe such a focal point for these efforts to make this a dream come true as soon as possible? Can people give you a call, send an email, get involved?
Definitely, we will be so happy to play a part of it. But I believe, for example, Czech tourism, Czech airport, Prague City, and TECO, Taipei Economic Culture Office, we have to be all getting together to do it, to make the direct flight from Taipei to Prague happen.
Well, so fingers crossed. For me, the transfer in Beijing was not pleasant experience from a perspective of very demanding customers. So I hope when there is a direct flight, that would be nice and smooth. So thank you, Mia, for the introduction.
Thank you.
Now let me. Yeah, welcome. Now let me do it like Taiwan, Czech, Taiwan. So I'd like to invite one of the Czechs on the panel to give his perspective, and let's invite Vojtech Havrda, area manager from LASVIT, to maybe share some of his lessons as to how a Czech company with big tradition in glass can understand Taiwanese customers. So are there any differences between Taiwanese customers and those around the world, or how did you manage to understand their needs in Taiwan?
Hi, thank you very much for having me on the panel. It's great to be here. I don't actually think there are a whole lot of differences between Taiwanese clients and clients that we have around the world. I think the core of it is to find ways to try to talk with your clients so that you understand what they are looking for. For us, we are designers of decorative lighting features. So for us, it's very important to start a very close relationship with the client, spend quite a long time discussing their ideas, and working together with their interior designer and architect to really understand what the client is looking for.
Well, so it looks that it's business as usual, really, that most customers are the same. You just listen to what they want, and it looks that they are after same stuff, which is probably, I don't know, happiness in life and good value for money ratio. But LASVIT is known for creating these exquisite, spectacular experiences in hotel lobbies and big indoor spaces of good locations, good venues. So, are you really the only one who can do this, or do you have any other competition in the region?
Well, I mean, of course, we have some competition as anywhere. There's always some competition. I believe that LASVIT is, LASVIT is being approached by our clients for several quite unique features that we can offer, and such as our creative team, our local support, our hands-on approach, and the quality of our workmanship of glass and metal. So there is always some competition, but the projects that we work on mostly are projects where we work very closely with the client, who appreciates the creative input that we give them, and LASVIT is known for being very open-minded, very flexible. We welcome challenges. Each one of our projects is custom-made. It's bespoke. So that means that we design for a particular location, a particular space, or an interior in different environments and surroundings, and with different history and stories that the client would like to communicate.
Sorry, Wojtek, we really have issues understanding. There seems to be lots of background noise, so maybe we can come back later when the quality gets better. In the meantime, thanks for your lesson so far. In the meantime, I'd like to invite Elton Lin, who is the owner of Hoja Taiwanese restaurant in Prague. So again, we started with the Taiwanese, now Czech and back to Taiwan. So it's the perspective of someone who is setting up a business in
Hello, I
Prague.
cannot hear.
So what?
I cannot
Can
hear.
you hear?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear, but okay. Yeah. Okay, I hear now. Sorry.
Perfect.
I
Hello,
was,
hello, Elton. Hello,
yeah.
Elton. I hope now you hear everything.
Yeah.
My question is, what's it like for a Taiwanese to set up business in Prague? Did you have what were the difficulties, or I don't know, maybe it was surprisingly easy. So do share, please, your experiences from setting up a restaurant in Prague.
Yeah. Thank you for your meeting. It was exactly like this meeting. At the first 10 minutes, I was trying to find a way to get into the meeting, just like how I'm finding my way to the Czech market. There are many things they don't teach you, and there's no pre-existing format. There's nobody in the existing business teaching you how to find a way. So even until now, we are learning. We made many mistakes. We made we also had some luck, and fortunately, we still try to survive. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
So, and how did that happen?
Sorry that yeah, I didn't join for the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah, so wasn't totally know what's going on before. Yeah. All right, so please.
No, you've joined in the very best moment. So my question is to you, Elton. How did you come up with the idea to open a restaurant, Hoja restaurant, which is a traditional Taiwanese restaurant in Prague? How did that come about? Where did you get the idea to open the restaurant in Prague?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was some period of time. We had a chance to cooperate with Taiwanese embassy, Taipei Culture Economic Office, and every year they invite us to share the food, to create this culture and food experience to the public, and then every year we kind of had a good feedback. So then eventually we decided, well, why if it's instead of doing once a year, why don't we try to make it happen like a permanent place, a restaurant. So it was just continuation of this food experience from previous from first few years. Yeah, and yeah, it's all started as like experiment, and then become a reality of the restaurant, just like everybody. Yeah.
Right. And in terms of all the administrative, legal issues, did you find that easier, more difficult, surprising? Was that a barrier, or did you manage that fine?
Yeah. Yes. It's for many of you, maybe you have been to Taiwan, or maybe you have not been to Taiwan. Yeah, the background of business is actually very different and challenging. In Taiwan, we probably don't need to go through lengthy government administration and paperwork process just to establish restaurant business or gastronomical business in Taiwan. You can pretty much set up everything maybe in less than 1 or 2 months maximum. But however, in Czech Republic, it's quite a challenge to from finding location, from get permission, from get approval, but from hygiene, historical, from landlords, even neighbors. Communication was taking a lot of effort. So for us, it's not only a food, but we kind of I'm feeling like we are establishing a Taiwan museum instead of only a restaurant. So there are many culture barriers we need to overcome. So yeah, it was difficult at the beginning, and now we get more and more people like recognize and helps, and yeah, so it's probably a little bit easier now than first 2 years. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned some barriers. Probably to me, the Taiwanese cuisine must be very different to the traditional Czech cuisine, to all the creamy, heavy sauces, all the svíčkovás and knedlové pso, etc. Did you find that challenging for Czech people to start enjoying Taiwanese food? Did you have to change or adapt any recipes, or is it the authentic stuff that your mother cooked for you that you are now cooking to your visitors in Hoja restaurant? How did you find that encounter between culinary cultures?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like many people has asked me or asked us, how do we sell Czech Taiwanese food to local Czech people? it's a process, not only food. It's actually a combination of all. We can find some similarity of food in every culture. Not only Czech, not only Taiwan. We all use some basic ingredient, but at the same time, we somehow present it differently or create different flavor. But but before people actually start to accepting your food, you kind of have to let people accept your culture and your background first. We try to sell Taiwan. We try to sell this image. We try to let people understand where Taiwan is, what's Taiwanese people, and Taiwanese culture, diversity of Taiwan, before people understand the food of Taiwan. Then this way creates more people interested in Taiwan and then the food. So it's like I mean it's like you, for any new food, new restaurant, you kind of have to bring this different approach to the people. Especially we are kind of like the only one Taiwanese doing this business so far. So and it might be easier to come from different approach. So it's kind of strategically a point of view that we want to let people know about Taiwan. Then only the food. Food is the result, the end product, before you come to our restaurant. So and regarding to the taste of how people can adapt the flavors and individual dishes, we try to find similarities from Czech dishes, and somehow you can find similarity ideas from Taiwanese presentation and dishes. We try to bring something similar to what Czech people can accept. And again, something different, something similar, and people can adapt easier than bring something totally different flavor that people will have hard time to adapt. So in more detailed presentation, our actual taste, we try to make local Czech people adapt. And our Taiwanese chef try to don't change anything from Taiwan, but we try to educate our customer to adapt to accept Taiwanese way of dining. That's
well. You mentioned you have a Taiwanese chef. So do you are your cooks from Taiwan, or do you also employ other nationalities, locals? Maybe what's your strategy from human resources point of view?
Yeah, that's also another very good question. Yes, our chef and staff right now are all from Taiwan. We try to use all the people from Taiwan as much as possible. It might be easier to introduce to customer when you have Taiwanese background. Your staff can solve most of the question, most of the problems in terms of this culture barrier, these food barriers, this the language barriers, everything. Although the challenging part will be like how our Taiwanese staff, how they can adapt the local regulation. I mean, local culture. I'll say, I mean, because our staff also learning, they came all the way from Taiwan. For them, it's a totally new customer, new environment, new working behavior. New regulation, so on. So for them, it's also new. Many of the changes actually are good, but they are facing pretty challenge the environment, especially like from last year due to COVID situation. Of course, for everybody, it's also challenging for our customer also. But then somehow we try to find a way to survive. Just like I said, it's been not so easy, right? But it's interesting. It's still an interesting process until now. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's not so easy to for Taiwanese people to establish a restaurant. But then I think there are many stories that we can share. Like when depends from what kind of aspect people want to know. We are willing to help. Yeah.
Well, it's quite tricky to talk about restaurant business just before lunch, because I'm sure it's not just me who is getting seriously hungry. And so the best thing I think we can do is to have lunch at Hoja or dinner, so that your business has more new customers who are willing then to pass on stories about the Taiwanese cuisine and Taiwan. Maybe my last question would be for you would be, did the Czech market experience, your business in Prague, did that change your business view, or did that change your life maybe as well?
Yes, you are right about this approach. By coming to Czech Republic, it does change, like in general, many things point of view. As me coming from small island country in Taiwan, we from our society in Taiwan. We see many things. We behave many things little bit different from Czech people. We used to live in a small country, which there's no there's no easy border which you can go to another country by driving or by bus. You know, many of the people like me, which grew up in Taiwan, which we more or less feel isolated, like from the rest of the world, because in order to get out from Taiwan, it's kind of a little bit lengthy process, a little bit difficult process. You need to kind of go to airport, you need to get many documentation, and in the old time it was even more difficult. So from maybe just from last one generation, maybe just say 10-15 years, the world becomes smaller. More and more Taiwanese people actually start to visit abroad, and you kind of slowly find maybe more Taiwanese people in every country, bigger or small, crowded or less populated place. I believe like we will not be the only one anymore very soon. I'm hoping to have like more Taiwanese colleagues, which hopefully doing similar business, um, and to kind of create this community of Taiwanese eventually. I mean, just like Mia was one of the person which adapt the country earlier. We kind of formed a small community like Taiwan, and we are hoping to let people know more about Taiwan. That's I know we in general we have a little bit difficulty in the international diplomatic issues with many other countries, but we are hoping that maybe from the business point of view, we will not have barrier. Um, so yeah, so that's my hope, and this can take some time in the future. And I believe Czech Republic is one of the best countries for realizing these dreams. Yeah.
Well, it's glad to hear such fine words, and
Thank you.
I think I can promise Elton that I'll turn up at Hoja soon, probably for dinner with my family, because we
Thank you very
loved
much.
food in Taiwan, and I'm looking forward to paying a visit. So thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you.
now time again to invite a Czech speaker, which would be Jiri Vaclavik, sales manager from VUTS. Jiri, hello. Nice to meet you.
Hello,
I
nice
hope
to
you.
hear you. I'm happy to be on the
I hope you
panel.
are
Thank you
also
for the
hungry.
invitation. Yes,
I'm
I'm
extremely hungry
already
after the discussion with Elton, so I
I'm
tend to
already
be
hungry,
quick now, faster.
and I have to say that I have visited Taiwan already more than 10 times, and what I really like is the Taiwanese food. So I can confirm the words from Elton, and I can really recommend the Taiwanese food to everybody because it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's not just about food or travel. The cooperation between Czechia and Taiwan makes sense, but you are an example. VUTS is an example of research and development that's been undertaken in joint effort. So my question is, why would a Czech institution company like yours look for a R&D partner in Taiwan? And how did that happen, really, that you found one?
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. And I have to say that our company, by the way, we are this year celebrating 70th anniversary of our funding. So it's really a company with a very long tradition, especially in textile engineering and textile machines. And since the Velvet Revolution in Czech Republic, we had quite a regular partnership and regular contacts with Taiwanese companies, and we have visited several times so-called Czech Taiwan Business Days, which has been organized with by Taiwanese and by Czech side, especially on Czech side by a technological agency and Ministry of Industry, and we've been meeting on those Czech business days the Taiwanese partners regularly, and we were all the time we were sitting there and let's make some project together. So let's make some business together. And on the beginning there was a little bit missing the funding, so the support from both countries. But I have to say since 7, 8 years ago, so has been established a new programs, funding programs on Czech side and as well on the Taiwan side, and we have we have found a partner in Taiwan by one of such events, because such a Czech Taiwan Business Days, one time they were in Taipei, and the next time they were in Prague, and it has been changed regularly. So really the contacts were really frequently. So what was first assumption that that we were really in regular contact, and by one of this event in Taiwan, so came to us. Now is it already my friend, a colleague from company called Taiwan Textile Research Institute, and he told us just, Jiri, let's do a business together. We have a patent how we can create a 3D distance fabric. And maybe you can see behind me a pedal board or this, I go a little bit back, this structure, this textile structure, so-called 3D textile structure. And they told us we have a patent how to create such a distance fabric, and you are the company who is producing textile machines. So let's design the weaving machine for this application. And that was the beginning that we were starting to discuss how it will be possible, if it will be possible, if it makes sense or not. And at the end of the day, we have found an agreement, a technical agreement in the first stage that such a machine would be feasible to realize. And then we have asked in the frame of a project called Delta from Technological Agency, we applied for a common international project, which has been finally then approved. But the first contact, in order to answer your question, was on this Czech Taiwan Business Days.
Well, it actually is pleasing to hear that events work. Usually, some people say, "I'm not going to any parties or meet anyone." There is no point. But really, my lesson from what you have said is that it pays off to attend events, and it will hopefully it will get back to meeting people in person as well, which will be more thrill after 1 year of isolation. So I take it events make sense. And what I heard from your speech was that the project was supported by some government scheme that supported international cooperation in research and development. Maybe you could explain what that scheme was and how it helped you, or was it actually the reason that you reached out to Taiwan in the first place?
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to point out that I really personally participate on several such events. It was not just Czech Taiwan Business Days, but there were some other events organized by Czech Taiwan Economical and Culture Office in Prague, which, by the way, is doing really great job in my eyes. And then we, on such events, I explained, okay, so we have a project, we have a partner in Taiwan, and we would like to develop a new generation or a completely new technology of 3D weaving, and but we need some funding for that, because we know, I can then explain a little bit more about the application of such a 3D distance fabrics. You just see the pedal board, but it's just only one of the possible application. The others are, for example, filtration and so on. But we still need to look for such an application, because we have developed really a new product which needs to look for the application. And we mentioned, okay, we have a project, we have a real project, we have a real partner, a very good partner, and we need to find some funding for international project. And on Czech side, there is an organization called Technological Agency, which has several possibilities where you can apply for a project, for a local project, Czech project, for an international project. the projects are, the name of the project are Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, from Greece alphabet. And for the international cooperation, there is a project called Delta. And this project Delta is every year open for some countries. So, for example, I don't know, Germany, Israel, US, and so on. And one time it has been also opened for Taiwan. So then we have applied and for this common international project, R&D project, and you must apply on both sides. So you must apply on Czech side. So we have to sign we have to write our project proposal, and on the Taiwan side, the partners must write their proposal. But and these two proposals must, of course, match somehow together, that you can really clearly see that there is a common development. And in this case, it was really very good because the Taiwanese partners, there is quite a big issue, IP also. They had patents how to create the distance fabric. So it means how to weave the fibers inside and so on. And so that was their IP, intellectual property. And on our side, there was this huge knowledge of weaving. I told you we are celebrating 70 years anniversary this year. And we are proud of our history, because, for example, this T-shirt what I'm wearing, or what many of us are wearing, is air-jet weaved, and the principle of air-jet weaving has been developed in our institute in 60s year of last century, and is already used until today all over the world. So air-jet weaving principle and water-jet weaving principle is our intention. Is our patent, and of course now we are R&D organization, and we are looking for new technologies. So not just 2D weaving, but for example in this project like paddleboard and so on, 3D weaving. So it matched this quite good together, and we applied for such a common R&D international project. Delta project from Technological Agency, which has been, I don't know, after 6 or 8 months approved on both sides, and then has been supported also.
Can I ask about the intellectual property rights? Was not that an issue if you have an international corporation? And what's more, one of the partners is from EU country, which is governed by different kind of intellectual property right ecosystem than Taiwan, where I'm not even sure what kind of is it the American system, is it the EU system? Was that an issue, or was it clear from the beginning how property rights for your new technology are going to work in your consortium or in your joint venture?
It has been clear from the beginning, and it must be clear from the beginning, because even in the application you have to show what's your IP of our IP on VUTS side, so our company side, and what's the IP property on the partner side. In this case, on Taiwan Textile Research Institute. And of course, IP, international property, means patents. So and the patents must be fixed to every country. So it means we have asked for patents in EU, we have asked for patents in USA, and we have asked for patents in Taiwan and China, because China is a huge potential market for this new technology, and we are now discussing with several companies from main China in order to sell them our machines, but really not just 1 or 2 machines, but we are now talking about, for example, purchase order for 10 machines and so on, which is quite a really big business. But in this case, you must really the IP sharing and must be clear. And if you don't want that this technology will be somehow copied somewhere, you need to have a patents for that. And we have applied this patents for those dedicated countries, and the same has been done or has realized our partner, Taiwan Textile Research Institute. So again, in order to answer your question, so it must be clear from the beginning, the IP sharing.
Okay, thanks. Maybe it looks that in terms of your business structure and project structure, it looks everything is fine. You are filing patents, submitting patents, so that's big. Congrats again to you and this new venture of yours. I wanted now to ask about the soft part of cooperating with a Taiwanese company. I mean, culturally, in terms of communication, in terms of the chemistry between the people who work on your team, of your international team. So how did you find Taiwan and the Taiwanese to work with from Czech perspective?
Yeah. Maybe again back to your remark that everything was running smoothly and from the beginning everything was clear. It was not the case. So the application and for the project and the discussion about the topic and so it was 2-3 years time in order to clarify all these issues. Yeah. So it was not easy. That was really not easy. And without such a, what we have mentioned, without such a chemistry between us and not between just only between the chemistry of the companies, but the personal chemistry, it would not be happened. And I have to say that's really one of my biggest personal, how should I call it, achievements or feelings that the project manager on Taiwan side was a really very good guy called Tony, and with Tony I'm already until today personal friend, and we are visiting us also privately and so on, and without such a chemistry it wouldn't be working. So that was the first assumption, the personal chemistry. We technicians has a little bit advantage that the technicians understand each other because they are technicians, so they are technical speaking, and the mathematics and physics is the same on in China or Taiwan as well in Europe, so that they understand each other if it makes sense or if it's nonsense. A little bit difficult it was with communication in English because as I've mentioned, on the management level or project level we understood each other quite well in English, but some of our technicians or technicians on Taiwan side, they were speaking just only either Czech or Chinese. So we had to help them, or we have to establish some communication channels. At least one technician or programming guy must be really speaking very good English. So sometimes it was a problem, the communication, but at the end of the day, as I mentioned, the technicians understand each other also. But without the personal chemistry, it wouldn't be working. And our guys, when they have been installing the first machine in Taipei, so they have spent, I think, 6 weeks over there, which is quite a long time in order to recognize the Taiwanese, not only the Taiwanese kitchen, but also Taiwanese mentality and habits. So it has been working also then quite good.
Well, thanks for sharing your lessons. I still wonder whether Czechs, reflecting upon my own cultural background, would be so polite to provide some first names that are easily pronounceable by foreigners, by Taiwanese, by Chinese speakers, because I hope that you didn't have any Przemek or such difficult names on the team. I think that could be a really nice gesture, even for Czechs, to adopt some international names based on where business is done. What do you think?
That's correct. So this is a typical Taiwanese, that they have all of them. They have English names. So as I have mentioned, Tony, Chen, and so everybody has some second name, so English name. So it was quite easy. And for me, in Czech pronunciation, my name is Jiri. But nobody in Taiwan is able to pronounce Jiri, so I'm just Jiri for everybody. But it's just normal. I'm used to that. Maybe I would like just share one more experience with Taiwan, because there is one of the speakers is Vojtech from a company LASVIT. And I would like to share one experience, actual experience with him and with you, because we are not only textile engineers, we are mechanical engineers generally, and we have one of our section is also mechatronics, and we have LASVIT is our big partner, and we are realizing for them moving chandeliers, moving lightings, kinetic moving chandeliers. And now we should have a realization in Taiwan, one kinetic installation called Supernova, and where LASVIT is designer of this chandelier, and we are the partner who is making all the mechanical movement of the lighting, and so it could be one of the next project which will be realized on Taiwan by our company, and not only textile engineering or not only textile machines. So I'm happy that LASVIT is so active in this area, and hopefully this project will happen, and because we are now finalizing the discussion, and that next time where we will be going to Taiwan, we can have a look on the Czech chandelier, Czech lighting, moving lighting, which movements will be realized by us.
Well, so thanks. I'm really looking forward to that chandelier. And my next visit to Taiwan, I suppose it might be in Taipei. So I'll definitely have a look. So thank you, Jiri, to use the Taiwanese version of your first name for your lessons. I wonder whether Vojtech whether his is better than last time. Vojtech, can give us a shout if that's fine.
Yes, I'm sorry for the previous problems. I hope that you can hear me fine now.
Yeah, now it's perfect, Wojciech. Let me get back to you. As Jiri suggested, there is cooperation between VUTS and LASVIT. Is something? Is it the way that you work normally? Meaning that your subcontractors are also Czech, or do you work with local Taiwanese companies or other companies as well? What's your preferred mode of operation when you install something or design and build?
Thank you for the question. Well, what Jiri mentioned is actually quite a special case because VUTS helps us with the kinetic engines that we use in some of our interactive features. So that's a very niche part of our project business. Otherwise, most of our production, of course, is done in Czech, and it's done by LASVIT Glassworks. And in terms of cooperation with companies in Taiwan or other countries, especially lately, we cooperate with local contractors for installation because we are not able to travel. So this has actually been quite a big change for us. For LASVIT, it's extremely important for us to be able to control the installation of our pieces. They are, as I mentioned before, they are usually original, only made once, bespoke pieces. And so the installation itself is very important part of the process. And we're very proud of our installation team. And so when the COVID restrictions started affecting our projects, we had to very quickly find a way to manage our installations remotely, online. And already in Taiwan, we have installed several features throughout the pandemic. So I would say maybe that's probably the most that's an interesting cooperation with companies abroad for us.
Well, your installations and chandeliers can be found in the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Taipei, or the bar area of Mandarin Oriental, or a store like Tiffany and Company. So I wonder, then it must be really easy to attract new customers in Taiwan. You just invite them for a drink to the bar or to the shop, and that's it. Or what are your how do you market, communicate your product, and look for customers in the region? Or does it just happen like that? If you have these very prestigious locations, then some magazine writes about that, and it's you wait for the call.
Sometimes that happens. Which is always amazing. When we are approached by clients from their side because they have heard about our company or they have seen some of our work, and when they are interested to find out what we could design and produce for them. I hope I'm not repeating myself, because I think you didn't hear me when I was talking about this before. But for us, an important part of our business development is working with interior designers, studios, and architects around the world. Interior designers and architects, they work on many very interesting projects, and we try to provide inspiration and support in designing bespoke designs of lighting features that fit in their concepts. And so we keep in regular contact with many studios of interior designers, and whenever they have a project that could use our support, that could use a custom-made crystal glass feature, then we work with them very closely, and then together with them we get introduced to the client, with whom we then cooperate on daily basis. So in Taiwan, we work with several interior design studios that are based in Taipei or in Taichung as well, and several retailers around Taiwan. I live in Hong Kong, so before the pandemic, I used to travel to Taiwan every few weeks, so that I can be in touch with them in person and with our clients.
Well, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned, maybe also personally, not just as a company, but personally from working in Southeast Asia over the last, well, I want to say year, but let's make it maybe a couple of years. I don't know.
Right. I think that the most important or biggest lesson that I have learned is to always keep an open mind, and really listen to the clients. This is quite specific for us, I would say, because we are usually approached or asked to work on something that has never been done before. And so every project is a new challenge. There is always a new design to be done, a new engineering issue to be solved. And clients in Asia are very, very creative, and they come to us with all kinds of requests and concepts. And so from me, definitely, I would say that the biggest lesson would be to always have an open mind and never say no, I guess.
Well, thank you, Wojciech, for that lesson. Never say no. They teach you in the managerial courses to be able to say no. So it's interesting to hear your lesson. Never say no. So thank you for that. And
Right.
it's my pleasure
that,
now
I
to
meant that
welcome
as you
our
were
last. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, go
You
ahead.
do
Sorry.
everything for your clients. That's great. So thank you, Wojciech, again for tuning in from a quiet milieu. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our last guest, which is, as I explained, we go from Czech to Taiwan and back. So now it's time to end our discussion with Eric Lin, General Manager of Wistron. So hello, Eric.
Hello, hi. Hi, good noon. Yes, thank you for inviting me.
Well, the pleasure is ours, and Wistron is a Taiwanese company which has operations in the Czech Republic,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a plant that builds lots of products. And I wonder why did you originally decide to set up your manufacturing plant in the Czech Republic? What made it so irresistible for you?
Okay, I think that is this can come back to the 2006. I think I'm here from 2007. It's already 14 years. I cannot believe that. And the decision making was in the 2006, and that was because of locations and logistics. The Czech Republic is quite good because our client we are doing the ICT product, and to fulfill the European market for our client, we actually pick up the Czech Republic as a location. That is actually from a logistic standpoint, but at the same time, that is also for the talent, because then for the infrastructure of education, and also at that time it's also considered the labor cost. That was the decision making. So that is a story when we make a decision to establish the operation in Czech Republic from 2006, and I'm here from the first beginning, 2007. So it's been a while, and just like the story at that time, the successful story at that time, and now is already different. So during this period, we go through the kind of establish the operation here, invite the talent, and stabilize the operations and fulfill the customer needs. But during this period, we do a lot of the changes, which I can share later. Yeah. So in general, also that there are also consideration of for sure that at that time the Czech already joined the European Union, and also the tax infrastructure, this kind of stuff is more ready compared to the neighboring company. So that was the decision, but for sure at that time it's not my decision. So I'm invited, I'm not invited, I'm actually assigned for the task to establish an operation here. At that time I was in charge of engineering and quality in the first beginning when I come to Czech Republic. It's already 14 years, can I believe so?
Well, just the fact that you have been here for 14 years must mean that that you are having good time and that you are enjoyed it utterly, because otherwise you wouldn't last so much. So I take it as a good sign. And my question is, based on what you said, the decision, of course, from a company level is like a scientific one in a way. You have a matrix, lots of criteria, you weigh the cost, tax, government, stability of the country, access to markets, etc. So when you were assigned and sent to the Czech Republic, so what was your feeling when you came, when you disembarked the plane and you saw it here? Did you say, oh, what have I done? Or what was your first reaction? Did you say, "Wow, that's amazing, this country. I like it already"? Or what was your first feelings and ideas when you came in 2007 to the Czech Republic?
Okay, to be precise, I came here. The first trip I'm here is by business trip, And I still remember the moment when I arrived in Brno, and I learned at that time our general manager invited us, hey guys, settle down and we go to restaurant. So I learned my first Czech. It's a pivot and the zebra. We went, when I arrived in Brno, I feel that it's quite different from where I'm from. I'm from Taipei. And Brno, it's at that time, in certain area in the city center, it looks very nice, and it's a very historical building. Is very beautiful. At that time, there are some area it's kind of under development. So my feeling is mixed in the first glance, and for sure that the first 3 I stay in for 3 weeks, and the purpose is looking. I need to in these 3 weeks. I need to looking for the talent. I need to find my engineer, and I also need to find a place for my future stay. And during that period, I experienced that the Czech language, it's the first time I hear from the Czech language from the tram, it sounds like a Japan language. So I feel, quite interesting because I learned Japan language in my university, but I didn't pass. But I feel certainly like a little bit no, and also a little bit I don't know. It's quite mixed feeling. But after the 3 weeks, I think I settled down. I find my first team, and also I find my accommodations. But that is 2007, and I feel on the street I cannot communicate that well by English. But now it's different. At that time, I think there are certain level of a language barrier by speaking English. But nowadays, that is totally different already. So that is actually my experience when I came to Czech Republic 14 years ago. Yes.
You said that your first challenge was to find the engineers, the team. So do you think that Czech Republic, is it still true that there is talent, there is engineers that are top notch that you can work with? Is it still a competitive advantage, and you still find enough engineers to join your operations, or is it drying out the supply, or what do you see around in terms of?
You are talking about now or at that time?
About now, how it changed over the 14 years. So what's in what aspects is the situation different now to what it was 14 years ago?
Yeah, I think we decide to run company here. We actually cannot change the location. What I try to say is we need to treat ourselves as a Taiwanese headquarter company, but we also need to treat ourselves as a Czech company. I think if you ask my opinion that our talent now, my management team now, it's actually my prime manager now is actually from the first interview, which I invited team. I want to say it's the engineering, or IT resource will be always not enough. But very important thing is also about the talent, how to retain the talent and invite the talent, retain the talent, and also make sure that the engineering resource, the capability, that the people themselves develop, but also the capability stay in the organization. So I think we want to make a company like independently that we can overcome the issue and fix the problem, communicate with customer, and fulfill the customer certification, everything, and also the work life here. We try to adapt to the Czech cultures, and because only me, I'm from Taiwan. We only have 4 Taiwanese. The rest of the team are from Czech. So it's not possible you change the cultures of the Czech Republic because it's by 1,000 years. So what we do is that try to be exchange of the culture in the work and also in the life. And somehow we are running well at this moment because the majority of our team are staying from that moment 2007. So that should be the good sign for us. But for sure, that for engineering now is pretty tight. But as a company that we welcome any talent which is just graduate from the school, and we want them to learning by doing, and as time goes by, they will be the capable and in front of customer can handle the business and handle the manufacturing process, everything like that. Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear that you are channeling resources to building the employer brand. I think that's the correct term. That is close to Czech hearts and mentality. And I gather that you are successful in that. That there is a big sign, I love Wistron, in front of your buildings, in front of your premises. And from your experience, sometimes Czechs are a bit skeptical or passive when employer branding activities from top down are propagated from the headquarters, and they take it as the necessary evil in a way they have to abide with. But your example makes me believe that this is real, this is authentic, that you managed to strike the right note where your employees really like working at Wistron, and somehow actively take part in the company culture. So, what was your way towards the Czech mentality and heart? Maybe not just pushing Taiwanese management culture copy paste, but somehow adapting it and fine tuning to find the right way. What's your recipe to do that?
Okay. There are no special clue. I mean, making I love Wistron will not make people automatically love Wistron. So that is actually not the purpose. And I think we already here 14 years, and this business is we need to have a cooperation from the local, which is Czech Republic, the team here, and also from the headquarters, which is the design team, sales team. And for sure, we also need to cooperate with the customer. But we already go through a lot of a journey that we are not in the stage of survival. We are not treating ourselves as just here for the purpose of the cost reduction and for the purpose of just fulfill the customer need as a factory. We treat ourselves as a company, a Czech company, a Taiwan company. And, we do, I think those years from our chairman, we focus a lot about ESG, environmental, social, and also the governments, core governments. And at the same time, we do the digital transformation. But I will focus on more about the ESG. ESG for the environmental, for sure, we need to make sure that the energy saving, building, any opportunity we try to do, and also that for the waste management, this kind of stuff. But ESG, we also participate a lot of the thing in the social participation, because that, employee working here at ours, it share the 1/3 of the every day in their 24 hours. So what we try to do is that to make sure the work environment for sure is need to be the comfortable for the employee. But at the same time that we treat ourselves should be ready to do more social participation. So we do a lot of the charity to join the local community and to communicate with the local. It thanks to we have a strong team in the manufacturing, in the administrations that to do the public communication. So this is one. But for employee care, we also know that we are not trying to make in slogan. I'm not doing that, because that there are many culture different from the way, for sure. For example, when you see the event or when you see some workshop, you will make in the Asia or in Taiwan, in China. There are sometimes we have some different way of slogan or something. I'm trying to only deploy the way here. We also respect the local culture. So we are doing some initiative which is bottom up from the employee suggestions, and also try to make ESG not so far away, we try to make it part of the life. For example, participation with a charity, it's quite easy. We also the sponsor to the zoo, Bernard Zoo. It's kind of, and also for the family, we have a family day for sure, and also the participate by the family for example the Children's Day, and we have a sketch of the animal and sponsor to the Bernard Zoo, for example, something like this one, to make it a part of life. The reason we put I Love Wistron is that for sure we wish that that each of our employees, including the family, love Wistron, but it's not suddenly people will love Wistron. We hope that can be adopted. It looks very cute. It's actually not just like a slogan or something. It looks very fit to our yacht, and where we can have an outdoor office and for the picnic, meeting outside and have a rest, something like that. I can share the screen later on if we have a time, but the intention is not make I Love Wistron and people will love Wistron. I don't think so. So many of the activity we hope that should be the respect the employee, and the employee have initiatives to work with the company and to be join the community of the Czech Republic. Again, we cannot move. We are based in Czech Republic. We need to adapt to the culture here, while we can exchange the difference that from between Taiwan and the Czech Republic. And this is happening because that our work by nature is communicating with Taiwan and communicating with clients in Europe or even in US. Okay.
Well, thank you, Eric, for your words. And I think that's a really nice end to our discussion. So we have had a chance to listen to 5 Taiwanese and Czech business people. The businesses were airline industry, travel industry. We had Mia Litwin-Su from Asiana. So a big thank you. I take it that the major task now is to get this direct flight from Prague to Taipei as soon as possible. So I'm sure we all can join in and do what we can, also with the help of Czech Taiwanese Association, where we could concentrate our efforts to push it through. We were happy to have Vojtech Havrda from LASVIT to tune in, and it's been great to hear that maybe there'll be a project cooperation between VUTS and LASVIT, and we'll have some moving structure that again will make the news around the world. So that's great news. Thank you, Vojtech, for taking part. We also spoke to Elton Lin from Hoja restaurant in Prague. So again, I'm now extremely hungry. That's why I will have to end the session soon. Otherwise, I don't want to be caught salivating live on this video call. So Elton, it was great to hear your lessons from taking Taiwan and letting Czechs get a bite of not just Taiwanese cuisine but of Taiwan culture, which you said is the key to promoting a Taiwanese restaurant in Prague. We also had Jiri Vaclavik from VUTS, who explains some of the challenges of research and development cooperation through Thatcher government agency, Applied Research Agency programs, that it worked fine. And my lesson is you need an engineer who can speak good English to make sure that the information is passed around the teams. I didn't know that the shirts also can be made from, now I don't get this right, from air jet, water jet,
weaving machine,
weaving, printing. It's a wonderful technology. Weaving that has been around for some time now. To me, that's news. The next time I buy one, I'll ask at the shop what kind of technology has been used to make that shirt. So I will let you know if they answer correctly. And finally, it was my pleasure to have Eric Lynn of Wistron, which employees love. It looks that it's not just the one way love, but it's both ways, because I'm sure Eric knows how much you need to love your employees, especially in Brno area, where there is lots of opportunities for talented engineers. And it's been wonderful to hear that over 14 years you've been able to grow your business, including local talent. So that was all, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. If you were watching, you've been a wonderful audience. I can't hear any shouts or whistles. I can hear just clapping at the background. My name is Tomas Studenik. I've been your host for this session, and I'm really looking forward to my next visit in Taiwan. Let's hope it will be via direct flight as soon as possible. So thanks again. It's been a real pleasure for the past 90 minutes to have you on the call. So thank you to you all, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.